Yo YouTube, how we doing today? Welcome to episode 2 of my Xdefiant Occupy guide. Alright, episode 1 was Arena. We went through all of Arena, so make sure to check the playlist for that video. With map 2 today, we're going on Attica Heights, okay? This is a really basic 3-lane map with a little bit of a twist of the 2 little underlanes that you can flank through, so really make sure that you're watching those. Or make sure to abuse those, because if the other team's not paying attention watching flanks, you get point every time. You get rotations every single time. P1 is going to be smack dab in the middle, just like most of these hills, or most of these maps. P1's garden, okay? Didn't really get a good picture because I kept getting shot at because this hill is actually scrappy as heck. It's really difficult to get like a decent amount of time on this hill without a bunch of shields. But as you see here, you're gonna want to run some EMPs. I didn't this game and I was kind of struggling with it. P2 is gonna be orange cabin. You can't really see the cabin because of the huge smoke plume there, but this is gonna be orange cabin. This is one of those lanes that, like, underneath there's a staircase right there. That's where I love to sit. I just run around down there, be a little bit of a demon with an MP7 and just kind of give everybody on hill a little bit more time to react to what's happening. And we also got to make sure that they do not get spawn, like close spawn, because they could spawn back by our palm tree back here and then just run back in our point, and then they just have point, and then we spawn super far out, and that's no fun. But if you're spawning out, you might as well rotate to blue cabin. Okay, if there's like 15 seconds left, you're probably going to be spawning right here, just like my teammate did. You can see him coming up with his sniper. This is a better look at the cabin as well. Orange cabin is always on the bottom part, and blue cabin's always up on this top part. I'm not too certain why that is, but I haven't seen any variation in that. This is going to be another shield heaven, okay? EMPs and shields, you need it. You really need it. This one is easier to hold than the orange one because the orange just has the steps right up on the hill from the bottom part. Here, you kind of get a little bit more coverage. You can kind of watch them spawning back there and kind of cut off that back lane. If they are spawning there, it's way easier to hold. Now we're going to go over to P4, which is my favorite in the entire game. This is my favorite hill out of any Occupy map. I love this. This is going to be lobby, okay? Lobby just has these 4 pillars. There's 4 ways for them to get into point. This is always scrappy. I love it. P1, you feel like you don't have any cover. You can't really do much to maneuver and kind of like win your gunfights if you're in a 1v2. Down here, if you're sliding and bopping around, holy, can you be a nuisance. I love this point. This one is another one that's really easy to get a good 30 seconds on if you're there first. Because you could just have ARs watching down the lanes and stuff, right? So very fun hill. Probably the one that is going to be full 60'd by professional players more often than any other hill, other than maybe Blue Pit and Palm. This one is kind of difficult to break too if you don't have the close spawn right in the very back here, because there's just so many headies and so many corners that you get to hold. If you're on mid, you get to hold the mid heady. If you're here, there's 2 headies that we're watching right here. Behind me, you can just be a nuisance and sit on blue cabin and sit on those headies for anyone trying to flank around. This one is also going to be one I think is going to be easy to hold if you're there first. If you have rotations and you're watching this guide and you know where next is probably going to be, you're going to have definitely an easy 20, probably an easy 30. And if you're winning your gunfights, there's no reason for you not to have a full 60 here if your teammates are spawning close. This is a really easy hill to hold. Attica Heights plays out really well for AR players. I find that I have a difficult time with subs unless I am really abusing flank routes the entire time. Just because there's so many long sights that an ACR or an MDR or a sniper or a marksman or any of those guns can hold, and they just have advantage of range here. Any of the lanes. So if you're running a sub, you got to be a little more particular with the routes that you're running. But if you're running an AR, just post up and let them run into you. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to check the playlist for the next video that we're going to be doing. It's going to be Dumbo, my favorite map in the game.